Guten Morgen, interwebs. Can you hear the words that are coming out of my face hole? Hi, I'm Barrett from the internet. Good morning, Katie Lynn, and everybody else in the chat. Bama, the tradesman. Can I get a 5x5 sound check, please? Yes, Bear. Okay, thanks, Frank. Hey, what's up, Frank? Thanks, Frank. Frank Chapinko, Frank the Tank. Philadelphia. Was it Philly? Philly. Parking lot. Refuge training. Bible study. And then Frank and his class with refuge training, we were doing active shooter scenarios. And they were stacking behind the door. And I was one of the bad guys. And I came into the door. And then they tackled me to the ground. And we had to have a whole conversation on, like, don't pussyfoot around this thing. If somebody comes through the door with a gun and is trying to shoot you, attack them. Because I think I had 5 of them on me, trying to get me to the ground. And I was like, hey, we're going to reset and we're going to go hard. Okay? Go hard. If you're hurting me, I'll let you know. And so we did it again. And we'll just say that Mr. Frank is a very strong man. Okay? Okay. Good morning, everybody. Coming to you live from on the road. I'm Bear from the internet. Show is brought to you by the creator of the universe right here. This is his name, Yod-He Vav-He. Okay? Yahuwah, Yahweh, God. You too, my man. Well, from one strong man to another, Frank. There's another strong man, Dr. Trevor Wilkins. Good morning. Brought to you by the creator of the universe and the wonderful people over on Patreon. There's a link in the description. It's a prepper consultancy. It's $10 a month. You ask the questions, I give you the answers. 5,000 pieces of content. Another strong man, Iridium Group. Good morning. And of course, refugemedical.com. Now, Refuge just dropped our winter camo, as well as our new patriotic line. NWA Prepper, another strong man. All the strong men here this morning. The Liberty pattern. Red, white, and blue stars and stripes. Beautiful pattern. Specifically the mag bag, Move, Adapt, Go bag, which is like a fanny pack, but will also attach to your bike. And it can also be a sling bag, and it can also be a shoulder bag. And you can put whatever you want to in there. But I just happen to have on good authority that you can fit a full-size Glock 17 and a reload with a TLR1 HL and a slick kit, Sexy Legs and Khakis kit. That would look like this right here. A slick kit from Refuge Medical. And a tourniquet in there. And still have room for your wallet, your keys, a banana, all kinds of stuff. Those are limited run. So go check those out, refugemedical.com. Promo code is BearNation for free shipping on everything, because I'm the founder, CEO, and chief shilling officer, okay? Now, unburdened by what has been. I spent a fair amount of time, let's be honest, glued to the TV yesterday, which is a rare occurrence for me. I don't get glued to the TV very much. And so I watched the inauguration, and then I watched the second speech he did after the inauguration. I watched a little bit of commentary. I watched the military ball. I was surprised. I had to do a little research when the whole swearing in of the chief. Come on, brain. This is my first cup of coffee. Commander-in-Chief. I was like, there's red coats here. Why are there red coats? We killed all the red coats. We hate red coats. America, why red coats? Turns out that's part of a colonial traditional uniform. So you learn something new every day, right? So I watched all of that. And it was almost informational overload yesterday. Because in part, what I was... Good morning, Dana. Yeah, you had to do the same thing, right? In part, what I was watching for, what I was concerned about was I didn't want anything to explode anywhere during this entire process in Washington, D.C. There were a lot of indicators, a lot of rumblings that yesterday was going to be one for the record books as far as mass casualty events are concerned. And so I did not want that to happen. And so I was perusing all of the news sources and alternate media sources yesterday, damn near nonstop, and it created almost overwhelm. But luckily we didn't have to deal with that yesterday. Now there's a lot of, and what are we gonna talk about today? We're gonna talk about Trump revoking the, come on, brain, the security clearances of those 51 intelligence officers that all said that the Hunter Biden laptop was a hoax. We're gonna talk about Elon's salute, apparently. You guys may have seen something going around about that. We're going to do a quick review to the extent that we can of all the executive orders, Trump's 10 executive orders, and then the 78 Biden executive orders that were rescinded. And then we'll talk briefly about DOJ and Vivek, the Department of Government Efficiency. So that's the goal. There's a lot of ground to cover there, so we should probably do that. I'm very happy that there were no mass casualty, drink coffee faster, Bear. Yes, sir, Roger. I'm very happy that there were no mass casualty events yesterday, but I was on the lookout for that. I will tell you, I'm on the road traveling, and one of the things that I really did not enjoy seeing while I was traveling was I saw a lot of eastbound, I-40 eastbound Sprinter vans and small box trucks. Now, was I profiling? You bet your ass I was profiling. That all had Middle Easternish brown dudes driving them, many of which had impromptu signage, like magnetic signs or their DOT numbers taped to the door, or just paper shoved on the dash, all headed eastbound. And I'm like, well, you know what's east of here? Washington, D.C. And I know, I don't suspect, I know that there are bad guys in certain areas, one of which is Chicago, stay the F away from Chicago, that are working towards doing bad things with box trucks. There was also several Ryder box trucks around the Capitol building yesterday that different people were reporting on, like they're not supposed to be here. And VBEDs, vehicle-borne IEDs, is the thing that I was primarily concerned about, okay? It's supposed to snow in Florida today. Dang old climate change, you know? So, glad that nobody got blowed up. Glad that the president is still amongst the living. I'm frankly glad that I'm glad that Trump is the president. I found myself having this really weird experience yesterday. You know, I read the YouTube comments, and somebody said something on a recent video that just popped up yesterday. Something like, you know, I used to watch Old Bear. I miss the Old Bear videos. The new Bear videos aren't the same. And the reason for that is I'm not the same. Okay? Yeah, I'm in my 40s, not my 30s now. I have 4 kids instead of 2 now. I don't just make content on the internet. I've got 5 companies and 2 ministries. We rescue people who are being satanically, ritually abused and restore them. Fighting the government at sometimes when we do that. You know, we've punched 44 tornadoes and hurricanes in the face in the last 7 years. Why no hand on the Bible? Oh, we'll get there. There's so many conspiracy theories going around right now. I'm not the same guy that I used to be, and that's okay. And so if Old Bear was the right person for the job for that person who was watching, that's great. There's 8,000 videos. You can find lots of Old Bear videos. But New Bear is the right guy for me currently, okay? And so it would be disingenuous for me to continue to be who I was to appease the crowd, if that makes sense, okay? Many of us have grown along with New Bear. Amen, Katie Lynn. The only constant is change, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. The only constant is change. And so with that change, you guys know I'm not a political animal. I don't like politics and I don't like politicians, but I found myself honestly really hopeful yesterday watching Trump getting sworn in, watching the epic shit talking that he was doing about the Bidens, about the Bushes, about Obama, about the Clintons, with them sitting right there. I was like, man, I don't want to like this guy, but I really like this guy. Do it. So bad. Biden, he's so bad. He's sitting right there. It's the worst economy. We're being attacked at our porous southern border. That's why I'm declaring a national emergency at the southern border. We're going to send tanks and planes, bombs, beautiful bombs, so many bombs, guns. The cartel, they're dead. Gonna send the Green Berets, Navy SEALs, the Marines are gonna go down there. It's gonna be a bloodbath. I'm like, I love this guy. And so that was an odd experience for me, because I really try to stay apolitical. Shalom Waffles. I really try to stay out of it, because the pattern of behavior that I have received from Washington, D.C. and all of the cronies who are there has been lie my entire life. Okay. But it was interestingly hopeful for me. My hope there is that we don't end up with too little too late. Because if I'm being perfectly honest with you, from a business standpoint, Q4 was not great for us, and Q1 is not great for us. And so, are we economically going to end up with a Band-Aid on a bullet wound? You know, is it too late at this point? Is it too far gone? I don't know yet. I don't know. But I did not expect myself to be honestly emotional yesterday. Oh, and Carrie Underwood, Shakota, Oklahoma, baby. Right. They couldn't get the backing track to work for Carrie, so she's just like, I got this. I'm Carrie freaking Underwood. Just bangs it out. Did an awesome job. Everybody starts singing along with her. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Didn't love that the first guy to pray was that rabbi guy. I thought the black pastor, me and my wife were laughing. We were in the kitchen just like, amen, can I get an amen? That guy was getting so worked up, dude. But whatever. So the inauguration was it was good. You could feel like, are we back? Are we back? And that was the whole thing, right? The new golden age of America has begun. Like, okay, awesome. Deeds, not words, homie. Prove it. So with that 14 minutes of preamble, yeah. First things first, Trump is revoking, or has already revoked, the security clearances of those 51 deep state intel officers. Now, a lot of these people are very high-ranking people, and so this is going to be some of that Trump 2.0 versus the deep state shenaniganry going on. But those guys are out. Certain heads of intelligence agencies have woken up today to see that their clearances have been revoked. I saw, and you got to be careful everything you see on the internet. I saw several people on X posting yesterday that more than 50 people had been led out of the Pentagon in handcuffs. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Day, who was being spied on actively by the FBI, who the FBI probably wrote a letter, several, to King, encouraging him to commit suicide. And when he didn't, he then got shot, who were very, very aware of the fact that Martin Luther King, while Martin Luther King apparently suffered from the same issue that many men of Elohim suffer from, and that is, say it with me now. Now, this is an R-rated show for everybody that lets their kids watch this, and for everybody who's like, how could you say that word and have the name of God on your forehead? Hoes, okay? Samson had an issue with hoes. David had an issue with hoes. on and on and on, okay? MLK had an issue with hoes. Yeah, being human, exactly, doggone it. But they were using that information against him because he was a problem. You know, and I think the primary reason, rabbit hole in the rabbit hole, the primary reason, and we'll see if Trump says that he's going to release the JFK, RFK, and MLK records. If he does that, the regime, the deep state, is going to have a lot of problems on their hands. So we'll see if he actually does that. Because all three of those people have one thing in common. One thing in common. They were all pushing back against AIPAC, American Israel Political Action Committee, and the Federal Reserve, which is run by the Yehudim, the Jews, the one world government, the cabal, the synagogue of Satan. Now, are all Jews bad? No, not all Jews are bad. Just like not all Catholics rape children. Okay, so don't turn my statement into a blanket statement. But all three of those were actively speaking against the external control of the United States by a small group of bad actors. Okay, and all three of those dudes got shot. Coincidence, I'm sure. But I digress. So yesterday was MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day. I doubt there was anybody at the Pentagon because it was a federal holiday. So the idea that 50 plus people were let out in handcuffs yesterday from the Pentagon, is it possible? Yeah. Is it plausible? Not really. We'll see. There's also chatter of military tribunals are going to be held at, thank you, Ty, for the super chat. Military tribunals are going to be held at Gitmo starting today. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch the flight patterns going in and out of Gitmo and try and ascertain who is being brought to Gitmo and for what reasons. Now, so those intel officers out. Next, Elon gave a speech at the presidential parade where the mass media is trying to say, that's Q crap, I think. I know, comfortably numb. I know. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm, by the way, not a fan of Q. I'm not a Q believer. I don't Q. The only Q I'm even roughly interested in, and this is just vaguely, is that firearms company Q that makes like the 8.6 and the, you know, they make some interesting firearms. I don't own any because I'm just boringly practical. But anyway, I mean, I'm not handling it, so it should be legal on YouTube. And this dumbass, it's negative degrees out. So, next, Elon, presidential parade, gives a speech, and he was throwing his heart to the crowd, okay? He's saying electoral votes, millions upon millions of popular votes, blah, 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 and he's throwing his heart to the crowd. And what does the mainstream media do? As if anybody watches the mainstream media goes, look at Elon Musk's Nazi salute. They're still trying with this. He's literally Hitler. Bullshit. I don't know if they know that they've got, okay. Q and a firearm in almost the same sentence. YouTube censors working hard. Yeah, whatever. Well, that's another thing. One of those executive orders yesterday was the end of censorship, allegedly. The end of censorship, allegedly, in the United States of America on all social media platforms. So we'll see. Do you guys have me? Am I still here? Only Q, I'm interested in barbecue. That's awesome. Back with starting video and audio 2x2. I'm doing my best, yeah. Bear says Q and YouTube shuts down. Big things like that. When they take a 3-second clip and they put that up and say, oh, here's Elon doing a Hitler salute, as if the entirety of the thing wasn't witnessed by millions of people live and throwing his heart to people, which was then snipped as if he was, Sieg Heil. I still don't trust. There's something about that dude's forehead. I just And he's in bed with Big Pharma, has been in bed with Big Pharma for a long time. Vivek is not officially joining the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, the reason for that was that he had something else very important that he needed to be doing, and so he can't be involved in that. And allegedly, that very important thing, lag is off the charts. You're glitching, bro. I don't know, guys. It's what I got. You know what? We're gonna try. Maybe on the replay, it won't be terrible. Boo-doo-boo. Boo-doo-boo. Hold on. So, allegedly, there's supposed to be no more, what do you call it? No more censorship. We'll see. Now, Vivek is also allegedly, clear as day here. Awesome, Dana. Thank you. Vivek is also allegedly running for the governor of Ohio. Now, I have a bunch of people that I love in Ohio, and I have a bunch of people that I love from Ohio. So, hopefully, Vivek is not a scumbag, and he wins, and it goes great for the state of Ohio. You just got censored. Whatever, Tammy, it's brand new. It's brand new. Speaking of censored, I put up, for the first time ever at this channel, because so many of y'all have asked, 4 drumming videos, 2 of which got copyright strikes, even though I clearly named the artists in the title of the video. YouTube doesn't love me. It's okay. It's gonna look, whatever. By the way, the alternate to YouTube, primary alternate, contingency, emergency, the alternate is Patreon. So be on Patreon. It's $10 a month, and it's not $10. I love me. You should love me too. It's $10 a month worth of exclusive content that's over there, in addition to all the stuff we do for free over here at YouTube. Okay, so that's part of the plan here. Like, what happens, Bear, when they do Patreon? What happens when they take your Patreon away? There's other platforms, trust me. Drumming vids were awesome, thank you. So, a lot of y'all have been like, I got Bear, please play drums for us. Okay, so I dropped not 1, but 4 drumming videos. The views are terrible, guys. Come on. I know views aren't everything, but come on. Go watch those videos, okay? Okay? So, Vivek, Ohio governor. Now, so we talked about intel officers. We talked about Elon's not salute. We talked about Doge, Vivek, Ohio governor. Maybe, we'll see. And then that leaves us with executive orders. Stop trying to regen, you piece of shit. I'm telling you what, guys, I've been blessed here recently to run both a brand new Chevy 2500 and a brand new Ford F-250, and the Chevy is the superior vehicle. And I'm not brand myopic, I don't care. The Chevy is the superior vehicle by a lot. This Ford, just not a fan. I'm giving this truck to Kyle. It's a lease anyway. I'm giving it. I'm moving the lease over from Bear Independent to Grindstone Ministries for Kyle, because Kyle already has a leased truck, and he wants this more than the Dodge, the Ram that he has. Imagine that, because them Rams be junk. So anyway, but the Chevy is the superior product. Possibly. Am I having an ADDism right now? Yes, it's okay. Just go with me for a minute. We'll meander back to executive orders momentarily. Possibly the worst thing about this truck is that the steering is super tight, okay? To actually move the steering wheel, okay? It's super tight, but the linkage is super loose. So it's like arm day driving this truck every day because the steering is so tight, but the linkage, it just wanders all over the place, regardless of how tight that it is. And this truck, this little short bed pick-em-up truck, has a worse turning radius than my GMC 3500 HD 4x4 4-door flatbed. This thing turns so terribly. It's like the maneuverability of this truck is just, it's garbage for a brand new truck. And old man comment, the Chevy truck, much comfier seats, and it has heat for your back and your ass, not just your ass. Now you might be saying to yourself, who cares, Bear? Suck it up. I have 19 bad vertebrae in my back, okay? And so I like the heat on my back if I'm going to be in this truck for a long period of time. Can't have that on the Ford. And it still has power. It's, you know, the 6.6 liter or 6.7, whatever it is, the 6.5-ish liter diesel engine. It's got plenty of power. Average fuel economy right now is 18.5 miles per gallon. It's got the 10-speed, blah, blah, blah. But the interfacing, oh, and the freaking, every time I get in this truck, it's like, which phone do you want to connect to? Do you want to just see your phone on screen, or do you want to hear noise? What kind of noise do you want? Just boop, Bluetooth. That's it. That's all I want to do. Would you dare to make a phone call on your phone while you're driving in a truck? Yes, I would like to do that. Oh, well, you have to come to a full stop to press the right button on the screen. No, screw all that shit. Just not impressed. Especially not for, you know, an $80,000 truck. No, I didn't pay that. It's a lease, right? But the Chevy is a superior product, and don't even try me with Rams. Those things are pieces of shit. They fall apart. On Fords, you're going to do engines. On Chevys, you're going to do transmissions. On Dodge/Ram, you're going to do everything. And you don't know what on a Ram is going to catastrophically fail. You just don't know. So, whatever. Beats walking. But it keeps trying to go into regen mode because, you know, you got to have a tank of cat piss in the back now because, oh, that's one of the executive orders that went away. Let's talk about executive orders. See, I told you we'd meander back over there at some point. Okay. Coming from The Guardian. What executive orders or EOs, not to be confused with essential oils, did Trump sign on day one? First, in no particular order, ending birthright citizenship. The order specifies that it would limit birthright citizenship if a person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. So no more anchor babies. Next, leaving, and we're going to move quickly because there's a lot of ground to cover here. Okay, maybe at some point we'll go more in depth on all these, but this is just a cursory overview. Okay, leaving the World Health Organization. Trump said the WHO has ripped us off. Everybody rips off the United States. It's not going to happen anymore. Next, I don't know why, but I just kind of love this. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And Alaska is formerly Mount McKinley, is now Mount McKinley again. Obama renamed it Mount Denali. It's now Mount McKinley. Let's see. Next, revoking electric vehicle targets. Trump revoked a non-binding executive order signed by Biden aimed at making half of all new vehicles sold in 2030 electric. Trump said the United States will not sabotage our own industries while China pollutes with impunity. Oh, he also said during his inauguration, we are the richest country on planet Earth, and we're gonna drill, baby, drill. So if you're an investing type, you might think about some oil and gas investments today. I told my wife yesterday was, MLK Day, so stock market was closed, but I said, hey, today we need to buy some shit related to oil and gas, because I imagine that industry is going to, that's a boom and bust industry. And I imagine it's going to boom in the next 4 years again under the leadership of Trump. Also, there's a lot of wind projects that have already been put on hold by Trump. And as a former wind guy, I'm in agreement with that. Good, do it. Next, reclassifying federal employees, making them easier to fire. Trump said, aides to the president have long heralded mass government firings as part of an attack on the so-called administrative or deep state. Okay, so there's already some lawsuits that have been brought over this. Lawfare. I think what the left is going to try and do is jam up all of Trump's ambitions, or as many as they can, in the courts with legalese for as long as they can to slow his momentum. I'm going to be very interested to see how that plays out. He's supposed to be the highest executive in the land. What he says goes. Well, we had a previous agreement. Yeah, you had a previous agreement with a guy that wasn't me. Take that agreement, shove it up into a cute little ball, stick it in your derriere, okay? Not happening. Next, declaring a national energy emergency. Trump declared a national energy emergency as part of a barrage of pro-fossil fuel actions and efforts to unleash already booming U.S. energy production that included also rolling back restrictions on drilling in Alaska and undoing a pause on gas exports. The order means, quote, you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem, and we have that kind of emergency, Trump said at the White House on Monday. The declaration would also allow his administration to fast-track permits for new fossil fuel infrastructure. It's likely that the order, part of a broader effort to roll back climate policy, will face legal challenges. We'll see, though. This one was great. Henceforth, in the United States of America, there are two genders, male and female. Creating a policy recognizing only two genders. Agencies will cease pretending that men can be women and women can be men when enforcing laws that protect against sex discrimination, the order states. Next, pausing the TikTok ban. Trump signed an executive order temporarily delaying the enforcement of a federal ban on TikTok for at least 75 days. And it looks like what he's trying to do here is get at least 50% ownership of TikTok. Now, TikTok is spyware. I don't have TikTok. I don't recommend you have TikTok because it's spyware. But everything else is spyware too, if we're being honest. Meta, Instagram, and Facebook, they take more data from you, harvest more data from you than TikTok does. One of the things that Meta does is it maps through your access points, your router, your Wi-Fi, all of that, and any device that has ever touched it, has ever touched your router, it gets that data. Not just the MAC address, SSID, all of that, your contacts, your pics, in some cases, your passwords, all of that. Meta does that. Now, I will continue to say that the CIA had a program called LifeLog that looked eerily like Facebook, that was shut down literally the day before. Some college kid, Mark Zuckerberg, interesting last name, definitely a good Danish name, good South African name, Mark Zuckerberg, started Facebook in his college dorm room, allegedly, the day after. And that platform, Facebook, that looked an awful lot like the CIA's LifeLog, that the day after LifeLog was shut down, Facebook got started. And that kid in a college room, as millions of people flocked to his platform, his servers never went down, not one time. Not one time. I have had y'all swarm refugemedical.com at certain points to go buy stuff, where there's so many people on the site that Shopify, the largest e-commerce platform on earth, can't keep up. Okay? And our audience is significantly smaller than Facebook. So it is. That's right. Briar Patch said it's a CIA op. How interesting. Yeah. You mean the CIAs are working with Jews to target Americans? I would never say that out loud. But that's an interesting thought. Barry, you're so anti-Semitic. I am not. I'm not anti-Semitic. In fact, I have a lot of love in my heart for elder brother Judah. I do. And I have lots of friends that are Jews. But I am very pro-Messiah. I'm exceedingly pro-Messiah. And there's a subset of those people that willingly gave Messiah up to die. And that same subset, the Pharisees, is what the rabbinic Judaism of today proudly traces its heritage back to. And if you constitute 2% of the world's population or less and control 90+% of the world, at some point the data just starts to catch up with you. Okay? So it's not an anti-Jew thing. It's an anti-group of people acting like assholes thing, whoever they may be. I have my issues with the Catholic Church and Big C Christianity and the Masons. And so much of this comes back to, are you harvesting organs from children against their will? Are you trafficking people? Do you have people mills, which are like puppy mills, but they're people mills where you serially rape people to produce more children that are never on the books because you can get $50,000 for a kidney? Are you producing and distributing CSAM, child sexual abuse material? You're no friend of mine, and I'm no friend of yours. It's as simple as that. And does Mossad have a long and storied history of working with the CIA? They do. Is the first mention of the acronym ISIS in 1982, and it stands for the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, ISIS, are the head. Why did we have such good targeting on these scumbags during GWAT? Because the head was Mossad. In some cases still is Mossad. Insider threat. They knew who the bad guys were because they were training them. They had the data on them. So all that's beyond my purview. I don't care. But if you hurt kids, I care about it. And I will F you up. Simple as that. And I don't care where you come from or what your heritage is or whether or not you think you're God's chosen people. And if you think you're God's chosen people and that's how you conduct yourself, whether you're Christian or Muslim or Jewish or Mormon or Buddhist, and you think you're God's chosen people and part of that choosing is that you get to hurt children, no, we can't be friends. It's as simple as that. Okay? So, yeah, Facebook collects way more data than TikTok does. But the TikTok ban has been alleviated, has been stayed for 75 days or so. It's getting warm in here. Turn that heat down. It's finally warmed up in this truck 40 minutes later. Rescinding 78 Biden-era executive actions. And we're going to go through those and look at those bit by bit here momentarily. Declaring a national border emergency. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came, Trump said in inauguration. Now, already ports of entry on the southern border have been closed. Already, they're rolling out the pain slinkies with the trucks, right? Pulling out the concertina wire. They've already got law enforcement in riot gear. I don't know, but I heard that Trump is deploying the 87,000 additional IRS agents to the southern border. That's interesting. Texas is already putting buoys back in the Rio Grande. Like, the border is closed. The CBP One app, Customs and Border Patrol One app, that was being used to basically book your stay in America, is shut down. Health and Human Services website has been shut down. There's a bunch of other federal websites that have been shut down. Good job, Doge. So, CBP One is down, border is closed. This is a big one. Issuing pardons for January 6th defendants. Trump said, quote, "I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages pardons to get them out," Trump said during his rally speech. "We'll be signing pardons for a lot of people, so many people, about 1,500 people." Trump said he's pardoned about 1,500 defendants charged in the January 6th attack. The attack on the U.S. Capitol, and issued 6 commutations. Even though the Federal Bureau of Investigation had people there that were officers in plain clothes that were agitators, because it was caught on camera. There are millions of hours of footage that's been analyzed by people that have more time than I do. It was very clearly an inside operation. By the way, you see the Proud Boys were out in the streets yesterday trying to clash with the anti-Trump protesters. That organization is infiltrated. Repeat, that organization is infiltrated. Exactly, Trevin, agent provocateurs. So if there's anybody out there within the sound of my voice that has even been a little allured by the Proud Boys, that organization is all the way infiltrated. It's trash. It's Swiss cheese. It's got holes in it. Stay away. Unless you want to collude with the Fed boy. If you want to collude with the Fed boy, that's a great place to start. Okay? So, let's see. Withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement. Quote, "I am immediately withdrawing from the unfair, one-sided Paris Climate Accord ripoff," Trump said during a rally at the Capital One Arena. In his inaugural speech, he said he would, quote, "end the Green New Deal." Good. So this is global warming, CO2 emissions bullshit. So that's Trump's day point five executive orders. Now, he rescinded 78 orders from Biden. I'm going to try and one-line my way through these as much as I can because there's 78 of them, okay? So this comes from whitehouse.gov. Initial recessions of harmful executive orders and actions. Filed yesterday, 20 January 2025. Section 2, revocation of orders and actions. The following executive actions are hereby revoked. And it lists the effective date. That was all yesterday. It lists the executive order. We're not going to go through all of that, but we're going to read what was each executive order that has been rescinded. In no particular order. Advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government, gone. Ensuring a lawful and accurate enumeration and apportionment pursuant to the decennial census, gone. So I'm not even entirely sure what that means. Probably has something to do with districting. Organizing and mobilizing the United States government to provide a unified and effective response to combat COVID-19 and to provide United States leadership on global health and security, gone. Preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation, gone. Ethics commitments by executive branch personnel, gone. Protecting public health and the environment and restoring science to tackle the climate crisis, gone. Revocation of certain executive orders concerning federal regulation, gone. Revision of civil immigration enforcement policies and priorities, gone. Ensuring an equitable pandemic response and recovery, gone. Establishing the COVID-19 Pandemic Testing Board and ensuring a sustainable public health workforce for the COVID-19 and other biological threats, gone. And yes, Fauci did get a pardon going back to 2014 yesterday, as did all of Biden's immediate family, as did General Mark Milley. Now, 'twas it I. Remember when Biden got caught with having classified materials in his garage? And then the judge said, we can't try this guy. He's not fit to stand trial. He doesn't have the mental capacity to stand trial. Remember that? If it was me, everything that Biden did downstream from that, I would just completely pick apart. Say he has no authority. Guy couldn't stand trial. So, yeah, he can't issue blanket pardons, preemptive pardons, because technically a federal pardon is to commute the sentence. There's no sentencing. It's just a blanket pardon. So was it I'd be ripping these people apart. And then you get into Milley. Okay, but what about the UCMJ? Just because this guy has a presidential pardon which pertains to federal crimes doesn't do anything about state level crimes for anybody, Fauci, or Milley. What about the UCMJ? So I would be looking for other ways to tear these guys a new asshole. Twas it I. Twas it I. Next, improving and expanding access to care and treatments for COVID-19, gone. Protecting worker health and safety, gone. Supporting the reopening and continuing of operation of schools and early childhood education providers, gone. Economic relief related to COVID-19 pandemic, gone. Protecting the federal workforce, gone. Enabling all qualified Americans to serve their country in uniform, gone. So that's another thing that Trump did. Anybody that was separated voluntarily or involuntarily due to the COVID-19 vaccination scandal that went down 4 years ago, they're receiving their 3 years of back pay, and they're going to be reinstituted. It doesn't mean they have to rejoin or that they're going to rejoin, but they're back in good standing, 3 years of back pay. I thought that was a really good gesture towards the United States military. And no woke gender ideology in the military, no social experiments in the military. That was one of the things he said. The military's primary job is to fight and win wars, and we're gonna win. Good. Next, reforming our incarceration system to eliminate the use of privately operated criminal detention facilities, gone. President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, gone. Tackling the climate crisis at home and abroad, gone. Strengthening Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, gone. Creating a comprehensive regional framework to address the causes of migration, to manage migration throughout North and Central America, and to provide safe and orderly processing of asylum seekers at the United States border, gone. Establishment of the Interagency Task Force on the Reunification of Families, gone. Which, by the way, Tom Homan, deportation czar, we've already had one, was it ICE agent in Vermont that was unfortunately fatally shot in the neck, trying to apprehend a criminal. There's going to be more of that, okay? So that's a big thing to understand, okay? There's going to be more of that. The cartels have been declared a Customs and Border Patrol. Thank you. The cartels have been declared a FTO, Foreign Terrorist Organization. That means that the United States military and probably JSOC can now be tasked with removing the cartels. They can target the cartels on American soil. And Trump has even said, I'll send them into Mexico. If we have to go into Mexico to get them, we'll go into Mexico to get them. Okay. Should that process happen? I think yes. Is it going to be smooth? And maybe not. And what about the C in METTC, effects on civilians? That's us, okay? So population density matters. Don't be where the problem is. Do you have mass casualty stuff? Okay, because there's still the same FBI that did Fast and Furious, that targeted Trump for all these years, the same FBI that was responsible for his safety in Butler, Pennsylvania, where I don't know how a shooter got on the roof. The same FBI that's done all this shenanigans They're still there. And they say there's 4,000 terror cells in the country. I'm more and more convinced by the day they say that because they are working with them. Okay? Just like we saw in New Orleans with the bomber there, bomber slash shooter slash, drove his truck into a crowd guy, that guy. Same to Matt Livisberger, former Green Beret, Tesla Cybertruck in Vegas in front of the Trump building. Yeah, the FBI is always like, they were on our radar because enablers, okay? Speaking of enablers, an entire, going back to 4,000 known terror cells here, then you got Sarah Adams, former CIA targeter, saying there's at least 1,000 of ISIS-K here in the country. An entire Connex box, Sea Air Land container of AGM products, thermals and night vision, stolen. There was recently, I think a couple of weeks ago, Russian national picked up at the border that had all kinds of enablers with him. And the Russians have been training with the cartels south of the border. So we're not just talking about a bunch of gangbangers. They're getting more organized and better trained. And so let's find it, says Trevin. Yeah, right. I wonder if there's a reward. Hey, we only took half the container. Here's the other half back. Okay. So effects on civilians, that's us. Just because the Orange Man was inaugurated yesterday doesn't mean that things are going to be all hunky-dory going forward, especially with the United States military at the southern border and now targeting cartels here on our soil. I would also be interested to know what exactly is being defined as a cartel. Who are the cartels? Is it just the Latin American gangs that we're calling cartels? Or are there other groups of people that are being designated cartels as well? Shit could get really weird. Let's see. Next, restoring faith in our legal systems and strengthening integration and inclusion efforts for new Americans. Gone. Rebuilding and enhancing programs to resettle refugees and planning for the impact of climate change on migration. Gone. Establishment of the White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. Gone. Revocation of certain presidential actions. Gone. Promoting access to voting. Gone. Establishment of the White House Gender Policy Council. Gone. Guaranteeing an educational environment free from discrimination on the basis of sex, including sexual orientation or gender identity. Gone. Termination of emergency with respect to the International Criminal Court. Gone. Establishment of the Presidential Commission on the Supreme Court of the United States. Gone. Establishment of the Climate Change Support Office. Gone. Revocation of certain presidential actions and technical amendment. Gone. Climate-related financial risk. Gone. Advancing equity, justice, and opportunity for Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. Gone. Diversity, equity, and inclusion and access in the federal workforce. Gone. Strengthening American leadership in clean cars and trucks. Gone. It's another one. It's like, you'll be able to buy whatever car you want to buy. Awesome. Can we get that 3-liter turbo diesel mechanical? Can we get like the Toyota Hilux? Ford has a patent that for a self-driving car or truck, not that, if you get bored or you want to take a nap, that it'll drive itself like a Cybertruck. No, that if you miss your payments, it'll drive itself in the middle of the night back to the dealership. Can we go back to the old 7.3 mechanical engines? Can I get an actual 10-speed, like with a shifter knob? Can we get one of those? This whole friggin' thing, this whole truck spies on you, right? It's constantly reporting your location. It's constantly emitting. Can we just go back to like shit that was made out of steel? I can't even stick a magnetic sign to the side of this truck. I can't put my light bar on the top because if it's made out of aluminum, gay, right? Oh, because we have to meet emission standards. Why? Because California sucks and the car manufacturers won't make a California version and an everybody else version. Okay, can we get some real shit back instead of all this make-believe plastic and aluminum? Like some real shit would be phenomenal. Something that we don't have to piss into the DEF tank in order to make it run. Just saying. Some real trucks. Bring back Caterpillar engines, okay? Caterpillar engines. I would like a marine cammed 800 horsepower, 18-liter Caterpillar engine, please, in my pickup truck, because I can. All right. But I digress. All this EPA bullshit. All right. Boo-doo-ba-doo, boo-boo-ba-boo, boo-boo. White House initiative on advancing educational equity, excellence, and economic opportunity for Hispanics. Gone. White House initiative on advancing educational equity, blah, 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 for Native Americans. And strengthening tribal colleges and universities. Gone. By the way, this whole targeting cartels on American soil. If you're anywhere near an Indian reservation or a sovereign American Indian territory, I would expect all kinds of hell to break loose. Because not all, but many of these tribes at the leadership level are dirty. The chemical precursors for things like fentanyl are coming across the southern border provided by China to the cartels that are then smuggled in, and then they need a place to make the final product away from the prying eyes of law enforcement. Well, what's a great place to do that? An Indian reservation, where jurisdiction is questionable. So you could get Delta flying their little birds into the Indian reservation to go hit trailers where fentanyl's being cooked up. For real, that could happen. And again, I'm all for good people. I'm not for bad people. Preservation of life is what I'm for, okay? I'm for preservation of life. Fentanyl doesn't preserve life. Methamphetamines don't preserve life. We just had a dude near my house who it's 12 degrees outside, it's windy, guys walking around barefoot, all hopped up on meth, breaking into people's vehicles. Now, the Bear Camp Emergency Response Team, I love my Bear Campers, man. You guys are awesome. I'm on the road. I get a call from a neighbor. It's like, Mr. Bear, somebody's trying to break into my car. And like, which there's something even there. They call me. They don't call the sheriff. They call me. Okay, Mr. Bear, there's somebody trying to break into our car. Okay, we're up. And this is Sunday night. Late, people start rolling out of bed. Next thing you know, I think it was, the report I got was there were literally 16 officers from 8 different agencies plus a bunch of my guys combing the area. They find the guy, they lock him up. Now, you got to be geeked out of your brain when it's 12 degrees outside and windy to be walking around after dark, stealing people's petty theft, petty larceny, stealing shit out of people's cars barefoot. And I hope that this guy gets taken to the county jail, he dries out, he realizes his life is a mess, and he finds Messiah. But that's just like this is not the first time or the third time this has happened out in the country where I live. Okay, methamphetamine is a thing, all right? And it's funny because multiple people said to me, because I was like, man, I want to be there, right? Like the action is going down. Multiple people said to me, it's a good thing that you weren't, because you would have shot him. And if you shot him, he might never have had a chance to meet Messiah. I was like, shit, you are correct. I'm glad I wasn't there. Now, in hindsight, I'm glad I wasn't there. But I mean, we got the guy on 3 different cameras. But you know, we got videotape of him doing it at 3 different locations, blah, 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 blah. But I'm so proud of my people, right? Like they did a great job. And, you know, we went from a couple of law enforcement officers to like 16, like that fast. And where do I live? I live in Eastern Oklahoma. All of Eastern Oklahoma is Indian territory. That's why 16 different officers from 8 different jurisdictions had to show up, because honestly, depending on what this guy's tribal affiliation is, it determines who gets to arrest him. Come on. Stupid. A white guy geeked up on meth. He's like, I'm Cherokee. What are you, like 125th Cherokee? Really, dude? Whatever. So, Guys, we're an hour in. You can go to whitehouse.gov and you can get a full list of all the executive orders from the Biden administration that Trump has rescinded, but it's a lot, okay? Praise Yah, it's a lot. I'm gonna have to jump off of here, and I'm in full-blown dad mode today, but I wanted to come see y'all this morning, talk to you guys, and you know, now that we've all been unburdened by what has been, I'm cautiously optimistic. It's weird for me. I don't, you know, it's like I've been in an abusive relationship with the government forever. I don't want to be hopeful, because if you trust somebody with something and they turn out to be untrustworthy and then they hurt you with it again, you're just as mad at yourself as you are with them, right? I don't like being mad at myself. And it's unfortunate that the stakes are as high as they are at the federal level now. And we were never supposed to have a federal government that was this powerful. But it affects every facet of our life now. You know, a lot of people are like, why didn't Trump put his hand on the Bible when he was sworn in? Well, he's already been sworn in once. And so he's resuming that oath. He's not taking it for the first time. He was sworn in as the 45th president. He's resuming his duties as the 47th president. So that's one line of thinking. Another line of thinking is that's Abraham Lincoln's Bible, which is why it was placed on top of another Bible and nobody touches it. So they don't, you know, that's why he didn't touch it. And then another line of thinking is Trump flew into DC on Air Force One and laid a wreath at the grave of the unknown soldier before going to the public inauguration. And see, the Air Force One thing, if the president gets on a Cessna, okay, a little tiny prop plane, that's Air Force One. Air Force One is a call sign, not a vehicle. All right. So whatever aircraft, unless it's a helicopter, you know, it's Marine One, it's a whole different story. But if a fixed wing aircraft, if the president had come out to North Carolina with us in Grindstone Ministries and hopped on a little 4-seater plane with us to fly into Banner Elk to go hang out with our Sentinel homies, to bring oatmeal cream pies to the people up on the side of the mountain, that airplane would have been Air Force One, okay? Air Force One is a call sign, not a vehicle. There's a fleet of presidential planes, and they're used by the president, the vice president, and his cabinet staff. And depending on which plane they're on, that plane is Air Force One, okay? So saying Trump flew in on Air Force One, I don't know if its call sign when he was on it was Air Force One or not, but just because it was a presidential plane doesn't mean that it was Air Force One. But my understanding is that only the president can lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. And so there's a lot of conjecture that he was actually sworn in before the public inauguration. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it helps anybody to dive into that rabbit hole. What changes? I don't know. Trump distributing zebra cakes would be amazing. It would, wouldn't that awesome? Shalom, welcome. Would you like some diabetes? We've got Little Debbie zebra cakes and oatmeal cream pies. Guys, help me out. I'm looking for a cosmic brownie here. Do you need a generator? Maybe some propane? We'll blanket. We'll rebuild your house. It'll be beautiful, big. No flooding. No more mud. We're going to evict the mud. I'm going to have the American military is going to target the mud with helicopters and planes and bombs and guns. We're going to come in here. We're going to make this river beautiful again. No cesium-137, no polluted water. Hate your governor. It's terrible. Terrible. Would you like some ramen? We should get Trump on a grindstone deployment. It'd be awesome. Weird time for me to join, says Josh. So anyway, do I know why he didn't put his hand on his Bible? No, I don't know. But I've seen reasonable explanations as to why he didn't. I don't know. it's whatever. And I'm finding myself reluctantly optimistic, which is good. Because we just talked about this in the What If video. What if it's good? What if it's awesome, guys? What if? Should we keep prepping now that Trump's president? Yeah, 100%. There's still lots of stuff that could go wrong, man, including you have an injury or a loss of income or a localized problem like a fire, a flood, a tornado, a hurricane. Yeah, you should absolutely keep prepping, 100%. Are we out of the woods? Not even close, man. We're in the same woods we were in yesterday. We just got a different commander-in-chief, okay? But I'm cautiously optimistic. I like the idea of America first. I like the idea of let's take care of our people at home before we take care of anybody else. I'm a fan of that. And I hope that it pans out. And I know that hope's not a method. Hope is not a strategy, okay? But if this buys us more time to prepare even better, invest in our futures, raise up our children, win more people for the kingdom, do more good works, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So, I hope. I'm still doing all the other things that I do, man. I'm on the road. I don't go anywhere that I can't just get back home again. I got enough fuel in this truck right now, I could just turn around and go home. I've got radios and rifles and armor and food and water and, you know, get home bags. And I have all that shit with me. And I hope to never have to use it. Okay. That's the show. Y'all do me a favor, please. We have Bearfax Bear Mins are back in stock at Refuge Medical. So if you've been waiting, today's a great day to go get one. It'll say on the website 2 to 4 week fulfillment time, and that's standard. But I'm telling you, we have them in stock, so they'll be shipping out quickly, okay? We also have, if you live in a place where it snows, which apparently includes Florida now, and you need Alpine camo, we have Alpine Multicam in a limited run on the Bearfac, the Bare Minimum, the OpFac, and the SOB, and you can get just the bag only option. You can get the full kit if you want it, or you can get the bag only and take your Bearfac inner out of your multicam and put it in your Alpine multicam. If you need winter camo, that's a limited drop that we did at the behest of y'all, the Bear Nation, and I'd really like to not sit on that product until next year. So if you need one, please go get one. And then we do have that brand new mag bag, the Move Adapt Go bag, in that Liberty pattern. So go check it out. Pardon me if I don't invest in Alpine. Well, Matt Bear, I thought you were cool. Now I have to reassess the situation. The Liberty pattern is available in the Move Adapt Go bag, the mag bag, the Adventure bag, which is a wonderful, awesome product, sling bag only. You can fit a tablet or a laptop in there. I've literally got one under my feet right here. I don't know if I can get it out. Let me slide the seat back. Got a pair of gloves with a carabiner under the seat. And what's in here? VS17 panel for when we're working with aircraft, specifically rotor wing helicopters. A bunch of smoke for working with aircraft. And then the rest is just filled with magazines. And it's under the seat. So you can get the bag only option and put whatever you want to in the bag. It makes a great utility bag. And of course, it's made in America, guaranteed forever, all the things. So, that, I will wait to put that back underneath the seat. So, anywho, Stop trying to regen, you piece of shit truck. Yeah. And so the patriotic pattern is the mag bag, the adventure bag, and the boo-boo kit bag are all available in patriotic. And so, and like I said, we've got over $100,000 worth of kits back in stock. Bare fact, bare minimum, SOB, et cetera, et cetera. So, but frankly, I've taken a gamble on investing in more inventory to be able to provide to y'all. And if you got the scratch and you need the stuff, please come to Refuge Medical. It matters. We are very thankful for your support and also wholly dependent upon it. So with that, let's talk to Dad. Shall we? We shall. Oh, good morning, Father Yahweh. Father, please prepare our hearts for whatever happens today. Father, please let us find a way to bring glory to you today. To be your hands and feet, to speak your word, to share your light, for reproof and instruction, Father, and for encouragement. Father, thank you that regardless of what happens here, you're sovereign over all things, and it is your will that is done. And Father, no matter what may come, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, you love us inexplicably and just unrelentlessly love us. Father, thank you for making a way for us to come home again by the blood of Messiah. Thank you for forgiveness of sin and his atoning sacrifice that we might live unto life. Thank you for giving us a pattern and a model to walk after, that we might do this life better in a way that brings you glory. Father, please minister to everybody within the sound of my voice. Meet them precisely where they are at. That whatever they're going through right now that requires attention would be just a speed bump on the road of life. Father, that you would build them up. You would meet whatever deficits, whatever lack they might be dealing with. Father, whether that's spiritual or mental or emotional or personal or financial or physical, Father. Just give us all a little boost today. Father, please let us have a good day. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Thank you for all the lives and all the souls that have been won in your name. Thank you for loving broken people and for finding a way to use us, even in our brokenness, to bring glory to you and put a smile on your face. Father, please bless these people today. Please give them their daily bread. Let no weapon form against them prosper, Father. Put a hedge around them. Father Yahweh, if there's anything within the sound of my voice that's not of you, we come together in agreement and rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Father, please pour out your spirit for wisdom and discernment. Give us peace that surpasses all understanding, and strength and power and authority. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. I see y'all when I see you. I love you guys. I guess we're hopeful now. I guess that's what we just do around here. Shalom.